All right, everybody. I got a special one for you today. We are joined with Miss Julie Tritch. Julie and I met during the course of our Entre events experiences, and she has been very kind enough to take out some time to her day and talk to us a little bit about insight and her experiences with it. So first and foremost, Julie, thank you so much for being on here today and suffering through my questions. I really appreciate
Absolutely. Absolutely.
it.
I'm
Before we
excited.
really get good. That makes one of us. So kidding, kidding. Before we really get into it, if you don't mind, kind of tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, as Matt said, my name is Julie Tritch. You can probably see it on the screen there too. Um, I am 35. I live in Tampa, Florida. Um, like Matt said, we met earlier this year at Entre events. I don't know what else you want to know, Matt. I went to Purdue, graduated from Purdue University. I have an organizational leadership and supervision degree.
Okay.
Um, the North is no longer my home. It is too cold up there. I don't think I can ever go back. I'm not kidding. The South has changed me forever.
It'll do that.
It will do
It'll do
that.
that. I've been here my whole life, so
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know exactly what you're talking about there. So, what, given the circumstances, brought you to Entra and eventually got you to Insight?
It's an excellent question, Matt. Excellent question that I would love to answer. Um, so basically, after I graduated from Purdue, I went into the automotive manufacturing field and I was there for 7.5 years. And for those who know. And for those who don't, just don't ever cross that line. Don't ever jump into that world because it's an experience to say the least. So I left the automotive world thinking like, what am I doing? What do I want to do with my life? What is my life purpose? Like my purpose cannot be working for a French automotive manufacturer, training the wonderful souls that just are in this company about car parts and how to make car parts and how to problem solve, and like that cannot be the sum total of my life, right? I was having an existential crisis one day, looking out my office window at the shop floor, crying my eyes out like, this can't be it, there has to be more to this. And one of my good friends, he was like, Jules, I think you're depressed. This just can't
Might
be it.
be. Where have you been for the last 6 months?
But that was the thing, is like when you arrive at that point in your life where you're like, what the fuck am I doing? Like,
Mhm.
what am I supposed to be doing? Because this is not it. This
Right.
is just not it. So I quit my job, sold my house, moved to the South with family for a couple of years, and I was just on this journey of trying to figure out what the hell do I want to be when I grow up at 30 plus years old, right? And I eventually found Entra, and it sounded fantastic, right? I can invest time and money and work with this company that's interested in developing me as a human, not just like in the business world, or just teaching me how to do a business. And it's focusing on all of these aspects and all of these pieces, because I could get really good in one area, but the other ones are going to shit at the same time, right? And it's like, okay, well, maybe I need to readjust, but then the same thing happens. It's like I focus on health and fitness, and everything else is like, it's done. It's like it never existed. So, um, and keep me on track if you need to, because I could talk
Hey,
forever. Um, so that was
have at
really
it. This is great.
where it started. Was okay, I need to make some money because I haven't been working for a couple of years. And I need to do it in a way that doesn't feel like it's sucking the life out of me. And like the thought of going back to a corporation, especially in automotive manufacturing, I was
Mhm.
like, I don't know that I've tapped into my sensitive side. I don't know that I can survive in that world anymore. Like, I don't know that I can do that. I'm not that human anymore. So basically, I'm taking my old lady socks off. Sorry.
Whatever makes you comfortable.
Um, and so I'm just like trying to figure it out, right? Like everyone's just trying to figure their shit out. We're all just swimming in the sea of what the hell what am I doing with my life? What am I going to do with myself? And how can I make money doing it, right? Because as much as people say, or as much as people like to say, it's not about the money. Well, you're right, it's not about the money, but you have to have money to survive.
So in that regard, then, so you've gotten into Entra, you're going through the business courses, which I think you're in agency
No,
at
yes.
that time.
I
Yeah, I was
started an
gonna say.
affiliate and then swapped over to agency. So I'm
Right.
like,
But in the course of just getting into Entra and getting into the business side of it,
mhm.
how did you get introduced to the events side of it? And then what propelled you to decide, yeah, that's something I want to pursue as well?
So in working with my specialist,
Mhm.
and you go through the boot camp and then everyone sees the videos, right? And I'm
Yep.
like, oh my God, the events look well, actually at first I was like, okay, of the three events, I was like, I want to do influence.
Right.
Like influence is the one.
Yeah.
But you can't just skip A and B and go straight to C. Like that's just not how it
Nope.
works, right? So I'm
They
like,
don't
all
let you
right,
do that. Thanks, Todd.
yeah, yeah. And so I was like, well, maybe I won't do them. Maybe I'll just do coaching instead. And my specialist was like, no, 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 like you really should do the events. He's like,
Okay.
the events, he's like, they just started doing insights and blah, 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 blah. And like the events, he's like, I promise you. He literally told me, he was like, if you go to insight and you don't come out of there with like your mind blown and just feeling like holy crap, this is absolutely worth it, I will send you a bottle of, like, I no, I think he said a case because he's French. He's like, I will send you a case of the most expensive French champagne that I can find. And I'm like, bet, sir. Like, okay. But I was intrigued too, right? But I've been on this road for since 2019 of
Mhm.
self-development, of like deep diving into self-development. So I was a little bit prudish at first and snobbish, like, what do these business people have to tell me? I've been doing all this spiritual self-development over the last couple of years. Like, but I'm like, okay, I'll go. I'll go. I'll try not to have, expectations or like, but I already did, right? I was like, I'm not going to learn
Yeah.
shit here. Like, it's not going to be anything I haven't already done or seen in some way, right? And I get there and I'm so uncomfortable because I like big groups of people. I'm like I'm an introvert. I'm an extroverted introvert. So like I can do big groups of people and you're gonna think that I'm an extrovert, but at night, like, homie, don't play, leave me the fuck alone. Like I need to go rest and recharge on my own without anybody else.
How
So
many people were in your insight group? Do you remember?
I think it was like 110 maybe.
And when did you go?
I went in June of this year. So June of 2022. That's what year we're in, right? Still?
Last time I checked.
Barely. Um, yeah, so I went in June
Okay.
and I I remember being like super cynical about it and being like, this is not like, okay, cool. Like, I've already paid the money. I'm already here. Like, I'm in Denver. This is cool because I've never been here before. And I remember thinking on the first day, if I come out of here with some cool connections and like a great networking opportunity, because I do a
Right.
lot of other things, I go straight and do all kinds of stuff. So I'm like, if I come out of here with some cool like connections and networking, it'll be worth it. I found a couple networking connections before even going into the event that morning. I'm
Okay.
like, okay, cool. It'll be worth it. Um, I don't want to give away like too many details of it, right?
And you can't because
Because
Chris
then
will
Todd
kill
would
me.
murder me.
Todd will find. Yeah.
Todd would come find me.
Yeah, absolutely. You probably just
Um,
said Chris, but yeah.
oh, that's true. And I think
Yeah.
I'm way more scared of Chris than I am Todd, for sure, for sure. I
But
love
in
him.
the sense of, so you get there and like I assume like a lot of people, I know I was the exact same way. I was like, I number one, I'm here for a business thing, and I'm not exactly sure what I'm walking into, but I'm here and I've got an open mind, and we'll go from there. Um, and again, not going into the details, was kind of just sitting there the first day, just wide-eyed, looking around, going, "All right, here we are, let's go." And then the tall man in the suit comes out. So when that happened, in your insight, like what was, from the moment that he stood up on stage and introduced himself and the team through those 3 days, what was your, call it, you know, emotional or psychological journey throughout that experience?
So I was super interested and super intrigued.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, like he gets it. And like
Mm-hmm.
I really feel like he gets it. And the way that he puts himself into everything that he does for these events, people don't do that anymore, right?
Impressive.
Very rarely do people do that, and they actually care and they're vulnerable enough to share their story and how they got to where they're at. And but not just like a hey, look at me and look at all the cool shit I've done in my life, but more of like a hey, I did it. I've been there. I've been at the rock bottom and I picked my ass up and now look at where I am.
Mhm.
And oh, hey, I want to help you get there. Not I can, not if you choose it, right? You always have to choose in, but still.
Of course.
But the fact that they want to and they like that's their and you can feel the passion behind the purpose. And I'm
Right.
like, that's what I want for my life. And that's what I want for whatever it is that I'm going to do in my life. Right? Like, I want to figure
Mhm.
out what that thing is and have that passion and that purpose behind it. Cause I can be great at anything I do,
Right.
but is the purpose there? Or am I going to have that existential crisis where someone that's been close to me for 6.5 years thinks that I'm having a mental breakdown because I'm like, this is not it.
So essentially, it sounds like for you, you got there, you met these wonderful people, and it was just, a roller coaster ride that just kept getting better and better and better and better, and everything was hunky dory and great. And then you hit the top and you come over the other end, and it's like, yay! Having fun the whole time, huh?
I wouldn't say it was having fun the whole time. I had a lot of resistance to things, but I know enough about myself to know that when I have resistance to something, it's because I need to do it. So for anyone who's on the fence about signing up and about doing this, anyone who's skeptical, like I challenge you. I challenge you to do it. Just do insight. Just 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 try it out and see. What are you going to lose, right? You're going to go to a beautiful hotel in Denver for a couple of days and you're going to meet some fantastic human beings. Forget about that Todd guy up on stage. You're going to meet some fantastic human beings while you're there, right? And I've got several people from my insight that I still talk to and that I'm still connected with. And that they're amazing. Like they're amazing people. But just going there and on the very last day, actually the evening, so like the whole thing is over with, right? And we're grabbing dinner afterwards and someone that I didn't know who he was, he comes up to me and he's like, hey, I just want to thank you for being vulnerable and for sharing and for he's like, you're incredible, like you're amazing. And I'm like who the hell is this guy? And like, what is he, or is there someone else, like do I know? Okay, he's talking to me. And I'm just like, okay, cool. Like, and we exchanged numbers and he's just like, I wish that I had gotten to talk to you sooner and blah blah blah, like I'd really love to connect and stay in touch. I'm like, absolutely. um and he's been one of like my biggest advocates and so supportive and so helpful, not just like with Entra but like in
Okay.
life, like it's just
So you go to
fantastic.
this thing and you just meet incredible people, and you get the insight that you never thought you would have gotten, doing anything else. I know that was at least
I
my experience to a degree, because I
Yeah.
mean, I've done some things in the past, to try to work on this up here. And I didn't really know that that's what we were doing when I got there, but I'm so glad that that's really what it was.
For me, it was more about working on this in here, right? Getting out of this and getting more into this.
Yep.
And that's another thing that we've talked about extensively,
Oh yeah.
right? But
Still
but
working on it.
yeah, but yeah, like I was pleasantly surprised by the things that we did while we were there, the things that we learned, and the things that Todd so beautifully took us through. And I was shocked because you go into this thinking, oh, this is business, right? Like this is a business development, whatever. I
I mean, in a way, yeah. Like it's everything that you're doing is going to carry over,
Mhm.
but I mean, you're not learning how to correctly, you know, work a profit and loss report. You're not,
Right,
you know,
right.
this is how create a formula in Excel. It's like, no, couldn't be further from that.
That's so true. It's so true. And it also like it was exactly what I needed. It's everything I didn't know that I needed at the time,
Right.
right? Like everything I didn't know that I needed, and it just has propelled me so far forward in this year to really make this a year of saying like yes to myself and saying yes to being vulnerable and to doing hard shit because we can all do hard shit. We just have to do it. You just have to do it.
So that being said, and that's actually a really good segue.
You're welcome.
If thank you, I appreciate it because I know you're helping me out. Um, 9, 10, 12 months ago, if someone had told you that you'd be where you are right now back then, what would you have said to them?
Not good things, not pretty things. You're batshit crazy.
In
You're
a
off the rocker.
PG-13 way.
I would have said that sounds amazing. It really sounds amazing and incredible. But like, are you sure? Like, I don't think so. Like,
And why is that?
the places that I've gone in my life, the places and the things that I've allowed myself to do,
Mhm.
to journey to venture to, the people that I've met. Isabel, I hope you interview Isabel because I mean, we're like BFFs, and she literally lives on the other side of the country. I mean, we live kind of close to each other,
Yeah,
but
I'm in Georgia.
and just these amazing human beings who are willing to do whatever they can to help you out and to help you succeed. And like our journeys are the same, but they're different, right? Like the details are different, but it's like some of those major details that are the same. It's like, oh man, I've got someone else that can help me through my shit when I'm like going through it, and vice versa, right? Like we just, the bonds that have been cultivated and the experiences that I've had and the realizations in my life and the changes that I've made, like coming to terms with things that I didn't think I'd ever come to terms with, and pushing past barriers that I've been trying for years to push past. And I'm finally there. And I'm finally like, and it's just opening up the doors. It's like setting up the dominoes and then just watching them all fall. I mean, uh, there are no other words. I mean, it's just life changing. Just kidding. There are other words. Life changing.
Well, hey, if that is what does it justice, because again, I'm in the same boat as you. Like coming up with all of the adjectives and superlatives that express just what coming out of this is like. Like I don't know that a lot of the words that you would need are actually in the dictionary. I don't know that they're even made yet. Like there's just
I
like
like that.
life changing is like it doesn't even feel like it encompasses it all, to be quite honest.
No,
It's the closest that I've come to it, and you can agree or disagree, but it's transformative. Like that is the word that constantly comes to mind when I think about not just insight, but the entire course of events is
Yeah.
you,
Yes.
is it possible that you could do it and not come out the other end transform? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
If
I
you're,
challenge that you did not go in and completely invest yourself into it.
yeah.
Everybody has their own journey. Everybody's,
Yep.
kind of in a certain place when they walk through those doors in Denver. And to your estimation, what is the kind of person that needs to walk through those doors? Or how would you qualify somebody that could potentially benefit from insight?
Everybody. Literally everybody. I mean, I left there wanting like my business partner to
Right?
go to all of the events. Currently, she's not there yet. Hopefully, she gets there someday because I would love for her, just not even for like our business to grow,
Right?
but for the experience, for someone else to be
Oh,
able to have, and it's going to be their own journey, their own experience, right? But they're going to get exactly what they need. I want my nephew to go, my nephew who's in his early 20s and life has been a struggle and he doesn't know what he wants to do in his life. And buddy, that's okay. Like, you don't have to know because I'm in my 30s and I'm just still figuring it out, right? Like, anybody in my life who has struggled, is struggling, whether it be financially or otherwise, I want them to see that A, there's more out there if you allow yourself to have it and you open yourself up to the opportunities. But there are also the people out there that care so tremendously much. It's like family is not the end all be all. The people that you collect along the way, along your journeys in life, like Matt, you're now part of my collection, okay? Just so you know. But like these, they're family, right? Like I don't consider you just like some person I met at an Entra event. Like I consider you family, and I consider these other people family. And any one of them could pick up the phone and call me, and I'd be like, okay, this is what I can do. This is if you need me to come to Houston, okay, I'm there. Like let me figure it out. And it's just I want everyone in my life to experience this and to have it and to know it. Whether you end up doing anything with like the entre business side of it or not, from the personal development and personal growth side, everyone needs this.
I couldn't agree more. And I'm actually trying to get Jeff Stouffer to do an interview because he's one of those individuals that he went to Insight not as part of the business side of Entra. Like somebody was like, "Hey, this is with where you're at right now. I think you could really benefit from this." And he went, and he and I we met at Insight and ended up going through Insight, Impact, and Influence together. Like his story is incredible, and
Yeah.
had you know had he not been open and willing to take a chance, not only on something that he probably didn't know that much about, but to take a chance on himself, given where he was in life. And I'm not trying to tell his story, but like he would have missed an opportunity for what he's really got going on now. And I feel like that's how it is for almost everybody that's gone through Insight. Like I'm sure that there was at some point with everyone this kernel of I don't know what this is, and I don't know if it's going to be able to benefit me. And sometimes that can cause you to go a different direction. Well, I'm not going to go. And now that we're on the other side of it, and we see people that make that decision to not go, it's like
It's heartbreaking. It is
it,
heartbreaking.
it's like I'm not saying it's like you're watching somebody die, but you're watching
It
somebody
kind of
throw
is
throw a version of themselves away
that
that
they never knew.
that they never knew.
A version and an amazing, incredible version of themselves that they've always wanted, whether they
And
knew it
always
or not.
been,
Yeah,
and maybe not have been able to access for some reason.
absolutely.
And it's like, all right, well, I guess I'll get
Every
you on the next go around. That's what's going to happen because I'm not
every
giving up.
person that I talk to that we know from
Mhm.
our impact. I'm like, I don't care what you got to do to get to influence, you got to go. Like, sell a
Right.
kidney, sell some sperm. I don't know.
We are not advocating selling human body parts to go to these events.
Right. You're right. We're not.
You
We're
get a
not.
disclaimer now, Julie. Thanks.
Well, you're welcome. What's a video without a disclaimer, right? Like, you just got to throw a little fun in there.
Yeah, a little legalese. Facebook is not responsible for the content.
But seriously, like, whatever it takes to get there. Like, one of the people from our impact ended up doing 2 jobs and is working night shift and doing all kinds of stuff just to try and like save up money to make it happen. She's like, I don't know how it's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen. Like, I'm gonna make it happen. I was like, you better, girl. Like, you better get there.
And she will. And she will.
Oh yeah.
Julie, thank you so much for the time. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. It is always a pleasure and so much fun to talk and to catch up. I hope that there's a time in the not too distant future that we can all, with that whole group of us,
Oh
kind of
yeah.
get together, like the impact and influence crew, um, above and beyond, the calls that we already do within the Entre Facebook groups. But thank you for your time. Thank you for your story. It's going to impact people, and I appreciate you being vulnerable yet again. Thank you so much. If there's anything that I can ever do for you, please let me know. And hopefully I'll get to talk to you again soon.
Thank you, Matt. I loved it.